Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. We are back with another edition of The Lap Down. We are so glad that you are watching and listening. It's good to be back. We've been off for a couple months now, and ready to get back in the saddle. I've got Ryan and Eli with me here tonight. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing
We're doing pretty good.
fantastic.
That's good. We all had a little personal stuff going on and some stuff going on behind the scenes. Um, Different story for a different time, but we're ready to get back into it. Before we get started, as always, a big shout out to Will and the Alkali Project for the music. We will figure that out as we go. But let's just get right into it. We've had a lot of stuff happen over the last couple of months, from a bunch of first time winners to promotions in NASCAR upper management. It is the month of May, and so the greatest day in motorsports is rapidly approaching. Got a lot of stuff to
Yep.
cover over the next little while, but let's start with
I
Jim
do have day
France.
one practice results from IndyCar today.
Okay. All right. We will pop that in there. But let's start with Jim France stepping down as the CEO of NASCAR and Steve O'Donnell being promoted. And so far, he has been more with the drivers and the fans than the old guard, starting with Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who paid attention to specifically Jim Francis and Steve O'Donnell's testimony during the lawsuit last at the end of last year probably could have told you that that some change like this was probably going to come on because both during O'Donnell's testimony and uh, from what everybody could kind of gather from how Jim was answering the questions. It definitely seemed like the only real sticking point in getting this whole thing signed was really just Jim France saying no. Mm, So clearly, it seemed like if it's him being the only person that's causing problems, it seems like a pretty easy you have to step down type thing.
Yeah.
And
Uh, what about you, Eli?
I know several people who work in the NASCAR industry, several people who work in other industries that correlate close with NASCAR, and they're all diverse people. They all have different personalities, different things, different opinions, whether if that's socially, politically, whatever it is. And the one thing they all have in common is they hate Jim France.
I mean,
I
that's the biggest thing is Jim France never really wanted that position at NASCAR. He was always the head guy over at IMSA up until Brian France went and got arrested.
yeah, that's I mean that is true.
Then once
I
Brian France got arrested, they needed a France to promote to lead run the family business, and well, Jim France was the only France family member that was both equipped and ready to step up.
um I could sit here for hours and point out what I did not like about Jim France or Brian France. I really didn't like either one of them. But I think it's important that you look at the positive in people's career and what they've done. And I think the most positive thing Jim France has ever done is step away from the sport. I think
That is brutal.
that's pretty good. Um, as far as Steve O'Donnell stepping in, I mean, I've been very critical of him many times. He's doing a lot of good right now. I'm not trying to bring us into like our next topic. His comments on the Carson host of our celebration. I mean, just things he's done recently. I think a lot of fans can get on board to Ryan's point. I think a lot of drivers can get on board with it, but it's something that's going to have to stick, and it's a direction we
Well,
have to keep going in.
and that's something that I think we're all gonna end up coming up to at some point because, like, it's easy to say that O'Donnell's tenure as CEO so far has been good. He really hasn't had any negative storylines or any real challenges to overcome at this point in his tenure so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
I
was
mean, because he has a fresh media rights deal. He has a fresh deal with all the teams with the charter agreement that's already been signed. So he really doesn't have any kind of looming negatives or kind of big tests to kind of overcome in this first year.
But that's my opinion on that, Greg. Thank you.
No, you're good. No, I was gonna. You actually said one of the things that I was gonna say. His comments, O'Donnell's comments about the Carson Hocevar victory celebration, which, in my opinion, was probably one of the most badass victory celebrations I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love it.
And then I think it was the week that he got promoted. He was on Door Bumper Clear, and they were talking to him about some of the stuff that he wants to do or some of the stuff that may be in the works. Obviously, a while back we touched on them bringing back preseason testing in January to see if they can try to fix some of the stuff on the next gen cars for the super speedways. And then he also said it's not set in stone, but they are working on a potential deal to bring the Clash back to Daytona and possibly run it the Monday night after the Super Bowl in prime time.
All right.
And I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, we've all voiced our opinions on the Clash going back to Daytona. My
I
opinion,
mean,
real quick, I think it should go back to the old days. It's pole winners only, and it's a 20-lap shootout.
yeah, because I mean that was always kind of the biggest problem with the Clash in like the 2017, 2018, 2019 era is that it essentially started just turning into a essentially a 50 to 60 lap test session and then a final 10 lap scramble.
Which turned into a wreck fest.
Yeah, exactly. But all the teams would just spend the first 50 to 60 laps just pacing around trying to basically find something for the 500. I mean, the thing I always said is like if you're going to do the Daytona 5, if you're going to do it on the oval at Daytona, do something drastically different with the cars that makes it absolutely makes everything completely incompatible with the Daytona 500. Like maybe throw on like big block modified type tires or some sort of crazy package that would make any sort of quote unquote testing essentially irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, hey, if there's no testing or data to be gained by running around and playing it safe, have fun, run,
Yep.
run hard for a full
Um,
fuel run.
yep. Eli, you got
But
any thoughts on that?
Um, yes, and I'll make them brief. Ryan's right. Like, I'm surprised I'm agreeing with Ryan this much, but yeah, no, he was right. It's 50-lap test session and 10-lap scramble that resulted in a lot of money loss. I will say this, um, looking at it from a different standpoint, be Sunday after the Super Bowl primetime, correct?
Mon-
Is the
mon-
rumored date
the Monday after, so
Monday? The
like
Monday.
the next day.
Okay.
yeah,
So I remember we had one 500 that was ran during prime time. There's a whole documentary on that actually. It's pretty interesting.
2012.
Um, here's my thing. That would be cool, and I think a lot of fans, I
well,
would
but
say
they were
more,
talking about doing that. That they were talking about the Clash being that Monday, right? Not the
yes,
500. Okay, just
correct.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we were. I heard everything correct there. Sorry, go
Yes.
ahead.
Um, that's a really big rumor. No, you're good. It's a really big rumor. But I get two vibes. The first one being they wouldn't say that unless they're going to do that. Then again, I don't really
Yeah,
know, but I can tell you this too. The whole thing with the Clash moving around dates, I mean, yes, it was to save teams money. It was to explore other markets. We all know that. But the biggest one was to put, and I'm going to say it very blunt, ass and seats. That's what it was. Okay. I can tell you right now, it's been 5 or 6 days since I last looked at the whole capacity. You are not going to put 100 and some thousand people ass in
Yeah,
seats for the Clash,
101,000.
especially on a Monday in prime time. You're not going to do that. So
Yeah, it'll be
for
a
NASCAR to
more
come
made
out
for
and say
TV
that,
event there.
yeah, there's like has to be something that we just don't know, something behind the scenes, some sort of deal worked out with a TV provider, something another that we're just
Which
not
TV
getting.
provider has the Super Bowl this year?
Should be Fox, right?
Fox? I was thinking
All
Oh wait,
right,
Fox.
no,
I
no,
thought
the
Fox
Super
had it
Bowl.
this past year.
No,
Okay, no.
no, the Super Bowl I believe was on CBS.
Yes. Or
Okay,
was it
was it?
NBC? I don't know.
Uh, let me Google
Because
that.
yeah, I mean, if Fox has the Super Bowl and then can promote, hey, come
Oh,
back same channel tomorrow for NASCAR.
it was NBC.
Okay, it was okay.
So, but yeah, no. I mean, just to wrap it up, that's that's kind of something. Before I make any kind of comment on, I would like to know more about. Now I'm assuming it would be Monday would be the Clash. I guess Tuesday would be media day, and then Wednesday would be qualifying for the pole. Thursday would be duels, and then Friday would be truck, and then Saturday, no apps, ARCA, and Sunday the 500.
Yes,
Okay,
that would be my guess.
okay, all right. I was just trying to gauge that out in my head. That's really interesting. That's a
Yeah,
really good point.
yeah. So
Okay,
Monday Clash, off on Tuesday, Wednesday all qualifying, then duels, truck, O'Reilly, and then Cup.
okay.
So kind of weird that there's just that gap of a Tuesday, no on track activity at all on that Tuesday. I mean, personally, if I was scheduling it, I would say that hey, let's make that Tuesday a full practice day. Have trucks, O'Reilly, Cup, and even maybe possibly the ARCA cars come down and turn some laps if they want. If they want, have a full practice day for them to turn some laps, get cars on track, be able to help fill in the rest of that week, make it a full speed week. Because it does feel kind of weird to just have that one weird
Yeah,
off day right in the middle of the week.
yeah, but they also got to do their media availability at some point too, and usually they take a full day to do that
That's like the
because
busiest day at the track. Like I know there's no on track activity, but I will never forget that that Tuesday was
Well,
insane.
yeah, and I've never been to the 500, so yeah. Yeah, I guess they
yeah.
do need
Well,
media day. I forgot about the media day.
Well, Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi, they did the teardown live from media day this year, and they literally were live for 8 straight hours.
Yeah, it's a bit chaotic.
Yeah, but let's move on. As I stated at the beginning, we've had quite a few first time winners this year. From Carson Hocevar winning Talladega, Corey Day winning at Talladega, Andy Jankowic winning Talladega in the ARCA car, just barely beating out Cletus McFarland in the same race. Ty Gibbs at Bristol, Caden Honeycutt winning at Watkins Glen this past weekend. Like, this season's been full of first time winners. What do we think about that, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I mean, as I say, there have been a lot of first time winners, especially over the last month or so. And I think the biggest question I have is just where will the next one come from? Because say, I mean, I know obviously the conversation was between Ty and host of ours to who was going to get there first, and the answer ended up being yes. So now it's just a question of like who else, who would be the next first time winner? Would it be Ryan Priest? I think would be a good option. Would be a potential option for a first time Cup winner. Um, I think really Ryan Priest is probably the easiest answer, unless it's Connor Village at a road course.
Yeah.
I think Priest is just kind of the easy answer. Might even come at this week at Dover.
Well, this weekend at Dover is the All Star race. It doesn't even count for points.
Yeah, but
But
trust me, you ask anyone from the New England area, $1,000,000 is $1,000,000. I would know.
that's true.
So
Eli, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it's cool to see some of these first time winners, right? I think to once again credit Ryan. He was kind of the big talk anyway was either Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar. Really did not expect Ty Gibbs to win Bristol. Really didn't expect Carson Hocevar to win Talladega either. So it's cool to see that. Caden Honeycutt, that's another one. Glad to see him win one. I guess really, Ryan touched on Cup. Who would be the next first time guy to win? Um, I'm going to go to a different series here. I'm going to go to ARCA. I mean, when does Cletus finally get one, right? I think
well,
it's,
when is Cletus next racing? I guess it would be the question.
I believe
Well,
Charlotte.
I'll say Cletus's next O'Reilly Series race is Nashville on May 30th. Which I mean,
Yeah, he's not
that's
gonna
a
win that.
completely different series. But I want to say yes, Cletus is running Charlotte next weekend.
Believe so.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily know if he has the talent to get it done on a mile and a half yet. And I will say one thing I was worried about initially is whether or not he'd put in the hard work to actually improve. But from what I can tell, at least when it comes to the super speedway craft, he is really putting in the time and the effort to actually improve at this whole NASCAR stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he led laps at Talladega and had a run to the finish. I think at Talladega, if he would have stayed straight instead of coming down on Gus Dean, he would have won that race.
Yep. Woulda,
But
coulda, shouldas, right?
yeah, but could you have imagined the party at Talladega had Cletus and Carson Hocevar won on the same weekend?
Oh yeah, I mean, the Chili's would have been burnt down probably.
They would have burned the grandstands down. But
Yep.
yep. So one more off-track topic before we go into our recap stuff. This one kind of upsets me a little bit. As we all know, Alex Bowman was forced out of the car by sickness during the COTA race a couple months ago, and he missed what 4 or 5 races,
Yep.
and came back. Come to find out, he was diagnosed with vertigo, and he was able to come back at Bristol. Was kind of subpar, and then had a third place finish at Talladega and a third place finish at Texas the very next week too. So I was reading, and there is a rumor going around. They mentioned it on Door Bumper Clear on this week's episode that there are strong internal conversations going on that Corey Day will be in the 48 in 2027. And I would love to get your guys' thoughts on that.
What happened to letting drivers develop before throwing them in a cup car?
My thoughts exactly.
Because, I mean, I know obviously early in the year we had a lot of stuff to say about Corey Day, and honestly, I think he's actually, to his credit, has actually taken measures to really improve and show a marked difference from the first like 3-4 weeks of the year to how he has been these last 5 or so weeks, while still showing off an insane talent. Because that was kind of the thing with like Ross Chastain when he got talked to by Hendrick about wrecking too many Chevys, and Ross Chastain kind of entered into a slump to try and conform to what Hendrick wanted from him.
Yeah, and not to mention that
But
Corey
Corey
keeps
Day
running
has been
into his
able
own
to,
teammates.
well, and that's the thing. Corey Day was doing that earlier, but honestly, these last like month or two, I really don't remember him running into anybody, yeah, too egregiously. And he's been continuing to rack up top five finishes, top fives and top tens. So, all things considered, I think he's been doing a pretty good job. He's fifth place in the points.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
mean, outside of his wreck at Texas that left him 37th, his results through the year: fourth at Echo Park, yeah, fourth at Atlanta. Then you have Coda fifth, ninth Phoenix, eighth Vegas, sixth Darlington, runner up at Martinsville, 10th Rockingham, 8th Bristol. Kansas was a 12th place finish right before his win at Talladega. I mean, that is a significant streak to be on. And really, once we got to like Vegas, I feel like Vegas was like the last time I remember hearing anything negative about him contact wise on track. I mean, that's a decent chunk of time to have kind of cleaned up his act and continued to keep the speed in the car. So I think there's a lot of credit to him, but I just remember back to guys like, I mean, thinking back to like, yeah, Chase Elliott won an O'Reilly Series championship and then still stayed in O'Reilly for another year before eventually making the move up to the Cup Series. Eric Jones, I think, would have massively benefited from an extra year in O'Reilly rather than moving up the same year that Daniel Suarez did. Honestly, I think Suarez would have benefited from one more year in O'Reilly too if it hadn't been for the sudden retirement of Carl Edwards that I'm still not convinced wasn't Daniel Suarez's sponsor paying to move Suarez up earlier, but another topic for another time.
Yeah, well, I can give you the insight on the whole Carl Edwards thing whenever you want.
Yeah, go right ahead. I would love to
Uh,
hear it
well, Carl
because
Edwards, if you read Dale Jr.'s book
oh yeah, I have it.
about his concussions, and he came on one of the podcasts not too long ago. He said that he retired, or he made the decision to retire because of that wreck at Homestead that ended his championship hopes. And he said that that hit that he took was one of the biggest hits of his career besides his flip at Talladega, and he didn't want to end up. He said, no offense, he didn't want to end up like Dale Jr.
Yeah, just I find it very awkward that that same sponsor that had carried the 19 for so many years left Joe Gibbs with Suarez. Just one of those things that didn't really make a
Yeah,
whole lot of sense. And it's like, did Eris really just want? Did Eris maybe slip Edwards some extra money to step away a year early to move Suarez up? Because again, it's pretty obvious that Eris, once Suarez was out, Eris left the 19 car. But
yeah.
again, another
But
topic for another time.
Eli, what are your thoughts on the whole Corey
But
Day thing?
I'll keep it short. I don't know Alex Bowman's relationship well enough with Hendrick and the organization, number one. I don't know the whole ally sponsorship situation, number two. That was never Bowman's sponsor to begin with. I know it was Jimmy Johnson's, so I get it.
Yeah, I will
Um,
say Ally
then
definitely seems to have
again,
rallied behind him these last couple of years. But yeah,
I mean, then again, though, I mean, there's other sponsors who have followed the driver and then have just left the sport completely. So I mean, that's just another can of worms, and I don't
well,
feel like
and
opening it.
I guess my question
Um,
is, who are Corey Day's sponsors? Because he only, I always see him in the Hendrick Cars colors every time he's on the racetrack. Is would Hendrick end up running two Hendrick Cars paint schemes a week with Larson and uh, Day?
I don't know that either, but
Because I don't think I've ever seen Corey Day in a non-Hendrick Cars sponsored race car.
I'll just leave it at this. Bowman has consistently been recently the weak, like just the weakest part of Hendrick on the Cup organization side.
Weakest link, but he's also still been easily a top 15 to top 12 driver out of the entire series.
I don't know, and like I said, I'm not saying yes or no to it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
I I think if Hendrick is looking to let go of him, this is the perfect reason and perfect scapegoat to do it.
yep. I'm
I
just
I,
not sure.
I think that
I'm not sure I would put Day in there, even if let's just say Bowman was to choose to retire. Yeah, as sad as that would be for one Greg. Um, say I'm not sure that Day would be the first choice. I would almost rather do a gap year with a veteran driver, give Day again one more year in O'Reilly to develop before moving him up.
It,
Because again, he is just so young and unrefined at this point that again,
uh,
I think one extra year of O'Reilly would do him a lot of good for his career.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say it, put it out there. Um, I would love to see Bowman come back to the 48 in 2027. And this is a contract year for him. We all know this. Um, I don't think it's very fair to him that this is rumor is going around considering he just came back from being sick, something that was beyond his control, and he's really trying to get back into the groove of things. But at the same
And there's
time,
been nonstop rumors about
um,
people replacing him in the 48.
that too. That being said, if he were to just step away and retire, I would want him to do it on his own terms for the sake of his health. And as far as a replacement driver, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I don't want Corey Day in the 48 yet. Again, give him another year in O'Reilly. Put Kyle Busch in the 48. Let him finish out there.
Well, but would Kyle
This
Busch want
this
just one more year? Because I feel like
well,
Kyle Busch at this
this is
point
the
is.
contract year for Kyle Busch too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying though. I think I don't know. Obviously, where Kyle Busch's head is at, but I think he's still looking for a multi-year extension to try and extend his career so he can overlap with Brexton that kind of timeline that he played out. Now, if he's offered a multi-year at RCR, a multi-year at Spire, or a single year of Hendrick, I'm not sure what he chooses. I'm not sure what I would choose if I was in that situation. A multi-year contract with
Well,
Spire or a single year at Hendrick.
I
I mean, Eli,
if
I
you could give your
if I
thought
were
on that, but I'm
Kyle,
not sure which one I would pick there.
I I can tell you this, and I'll keep it short. I'm not going to name names because I don't want anybody to get in trouble. I don't. I do know somebody though who works closely with RCR and the manufacturer Chevrolet in general. That's all I'm going to leave there. But from what he has been told and what he has heard in the Mooresville area and the Concord area, Kyle really likes the direction that the team is going right now with Andy Street up on the box. That this is
Yeah.
the happiest he's been since 2023, and I'll leave that right there.
So are they
okay,
going to keep Andy
all right.
Street though next year? I guess would be the question there. Because last year they brought in Andy Street as the interim and then replaced him, despite the fact that they got pretty good success down the stretch. So
Yeah.
that
I'll
would be
say
something I'd
this.
want to know if I'm Kyle
Right.
before I sign
I'll
on
say
for another year
this.
of RCR.
Yeah. Now I'll say this. If I'm Kyle, I would try to look at the overall performance of RCR through the rest of the season, and if I don't think I see improvement, then I am going to look at other options. And if Hendrick comes to me with a 1 year offer, I'm going to take it because I know that that's my shot to get back in top equipment and have a chance to, if I'm going to retire, go out on top and have a really good chance to go out on top. But let's
Yeah.
let's move on to our recap segment. As I stated before, the quote unquote greatest day in motorsports is rapidly approaching, which, I mean, F1's not at Monaco anymore on Memorial Day weekend, but we still have the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 on the same day. And coming fresh off of the Indy Grand Prix road course race this past weekend, they had the first Indy 500 practice today. And I believe Ryan said he had some results to share with us.
Yep. So the results through the first 90% of the practice session, it looked like it was going to be some combination of Marcus Armstrong and Connor Daly at the top of the board. Alex Palou, so I haven't been able to hear from anybody in the garage area this evening at Indy, but yeah, Palou was in the garage for a decent chunk of the day, a decent chunk of the practice session, sitting in 32nd on the speed chart. And in the last 15 minutes of the session, he came out and instantly went straight to the top of the board with the fastest time of the day. Shock and surprise, Alex Palou, top of the board again. But
Yeah,
yeah, Connor Daly's always nice to see up near the top of the board. He comes home in the third spot on speed today. Indianapolis native there. Newgarden Dixon also inside that top five. Graham Rahal, a little bit of a surprise up there, given the fact that the Rahal cars have had trouble qualifying into the field the last couple of years when there was actually bumping. There are only 33 cars, so nobody's going home this year. But yeah, is that good for Rahal to see him bouncing back a bit?
yeah.
And
Look,
then David Malukas rounds out the top 10 in his first year as a Penske driver at the Speedway.
yeah, I'm looking at the results too. Elio Castroneves was 15th.
Yep.
Catherine Legg was dead last, a second and a half off the pace.
Yep.
Wow. And
Kind of feel
I'm looking
kind of
here.
bummed for Jabel there dropping down because he was in 14th with about 15 minutes left on the clock for the day. Jacob Abel there was all the way up in 14th and dropped another 3 spots in the final 15 minutes of the session.
Yeah. I'm looking down here in the bottom right corner. They ran all the cars ran a total of 1,996 laps today.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's Indy. And that's just one day. We got a lot more practice days to go before qualifying this weekend.
Yep. But
I believe Alexander Rossi did turn the most laps at 116 himself.
yep, that is true. But all right, well, moving on to the stock car side of things was Watkins Glen this past weekend. It was the second road course race for the Cup or the NASCAR series so far this year, and as we mentioned before, Caden Honeycutt won the. He got his first career ARCA race on Saturday or Friday, and also got his first career truck win on Friday at the same track. And then on Saturday, he went and ran the Cars Smart Tour race and the Cars Light Tour race and won both of those. So he went 4 for 4 this weekend. Caden Honeycutt is absolutely on fire right now. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
The Caden Honeycutt, he won the ARCA race and the truck race on Friday, and then won the Cars Tour Smart race and the Cars Tour Light race on Saturday. So he went
Wow.
4 for 4 on the weekend.
Well, Caden Honeycutt doing a lot of great racing there. The only one of those I actually got to see was I got to see the truck race, and that was a really good race. Honestly, the trucks. There was a good amount of mixing up at the front, all the way down to the checkered flag, and yeah, I loved seeing Caden Honeycutt be able to hold off guys like Connor Zillage, guys like SVG. Yeah, being able to hold off some of these absolute road course superstars. AJ Allmendinger in the 25 had a pretty good run going too. Just figured we ought to shout him
Yep.
out too.
Oh yeah. Eli.
Okay, can you repeat the question one more time? I was switching out AirPods and letting the dog out. I apologize.
No, you're good. I
Caden
was just
Honeycutt
getting
going four
thoughts.
for four on the weekend.
Um, yeah. Man, I think he tweeted it, and I did not get a chance to watch the race, but it was after Bristol. He said when he finally won, he would go up in the stands and shotgun a beer with the fans. Did he do it or no?
Yes, he did.
Okay, then I like the guy. He's true to his word, and
Yep.
yeah. I don't know. I did not watch the Truck Series race though, so I really don't have
Oh,
much input on them.
hey, can I give a quick shout out to a driver I feel like we haven't really talked about at all since he got named as the driver of this truck?
Ty Majeski.
Nope.
All right.
Have we talked at all about Mini Tyrell? He gets a top 10 at Watkins Glen. Because I feel like I haven't heard that name mentioned much at all outside of just when going through the list of all the Dodge drivers. It's like whoever's been in the 25 has been fairly relevant. Brendan Queen usually in the back half of that top 10 to top 15 area. The 10 car with Daniel Dye and now Corey LaJoy has been a talking point. And Justin Haley's been fairly consistent there. And then it's just been Mini Tyrell just sitting there, not really making any headlines. And he ends up being inside the top 10 at Watkins Glen.
Yeah. Now the Rams actually showed speed this past weekend. They had 4 of their 5 trucks in the top 12.
Yep. And honestly, Justin Haley, I'm not sure if there was an issue on that truck because he's usually a pretty decent road racer too. And one other shout out I want to give, say Stephen Malazzi actually managed to have a truck that didn't fall apart on him for once, and he got all the way up to 22nd for the Rayoum brothers.
Yeah.
Substitute driving for
Frankie.
what's his name? Yeah, Muniz.
Yep. But
So
yeah.
just wanted to give a shout out there to my friend there, Stefan.
Nice. Moving to Saturday, O'Reilly race. No surprise there. Connor Zilic wins in the Junior
Let's say
Motorsports car.
it was a lot closer than anyone thought it would be, though.
Yes. So to me, the most exciting part of the race was the last lap and the last lap pass coming off of turn 7. But I don't know if you guys saw the video, but the guy in victory lane who put a mattress next to Connor's car as he was getting out.
Just to make sure he doesn't fall off the top again.
Yes. Yes, it was so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, some notables from that race. Ross Chastain finishing 4th in the Jordan Anderson car. Parker Retzloff, who's been on quite a heater here lately for Viking.
Brent Cruz, fastest lap of the day.
Yep, Austin Green in the 87 finishing top 10 after starting 35th. I mean, yeah, a lot of good results there. But the big talking point is the Cup race on Sunday. Shane Van Gisbergen, can you ever really count him out? Started on the pole, won the stage, led the most laps, and then he pitted under green with 24 laps to go, 25 laps to go, something like that. Came out of the pits in 26th position, some 30 seconds behind the leader, Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilic, and absolutely put on the greatest drive I think I have ever seen on a road course race, going from 25th to the win by 7 seconds. He took the lead with 8 laps to go and still drove out to a 7-second lead to win the race. And that was his 7th road course series win, which puts him 3rd all time on the all-time wins list for road courses, only one behind Tony Stewart and two behind Jeff Gordon. Is my big question to you guys, and you can give your thoughts on the race too, but my question to you guys, and I'm sure we've probably asked this before, is SVG the greatest road course racer NASCAR has ever seen? Ryan.
I've got a two-part answer to that one, actually.
All right.
So, one, I will say I do think he probably is the most talented road racer NASCAR has seen. But also the people who are saying, "Oh yeah, his 7 wins putting him tied for third all time, and only like what 2 wins shy of Jeff Gordon for the all time lead." It's like he also had a year of 6 road course races last year, and he has another 4 this year. Gordon, the entirety of Gordon's career was run with only 2 road courses a year. So I will just point out that there is a significant difference to the fact that SVG was able to win 6 of them in one year, was able to check off 5 wins in a single year there for road wins.
Yeah. Um,
I don't think it takes away enough from his talent. I still think he probably is the most talented road racer, but the people who are already who are specifically looking at the win stat, and it's like, yep, he had a lot more attempts to be able to do it in that short space of time.
yeah, that is true. What about you, Eli?
So,
So am I answering the question or am I giving my thoughts on the race too? How are we
You
doing
both.
this?
you can do
Both, okay.
both.
All right, I'll answer, I guess, the race first. Um, it was about what I expected it to be. I saw him on the pole. I ordered Pizza Hut before the race. I overly ate, took a nap, and woke up in the middle of stage 2. Then went back to sleep and caught the end of it. So I expected the full domination. And then after the race, I participated in my favorite game called Go Wait Till NASCAR Posts the Winner Card, and then go watch all the angry Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson fans comment he's a one-trick pony and he's cheating and Trackhouse needs to be investigated. That's always fun. So, yeah, I mean, the race was all right. It was Watkins Glen. I think it's a solid road course in the next gen. Congrats to SVG. Don't
I,
got much more on that.
I do have one more thought on the race as a whole that I didn't mention.
Okay, go ahead.
We need to disqualify that 97 car because I know he cheated. And it is totally not biased about the fact that Michael McDowell was second.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally not biased about my guy Michael McDowell there being in second. Also, shout out Connor Zillich, fastest lap of the day.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Okay, Cody Ware slamming,
Say,
murdering the tire barriers was not a caution. That was neat.
well, we learned this at Chicago.
We
I
did learn
told
that.
you we learned it at Chicago.
You
Cody
did.
Ware can hit the barrier as hard as he wants, and he won't get a caution for it. But
Um,
yeah,
Fox
Zillich, I feel
sucked.
like is going to be one that doesn't get enough credit though. After the pit strategy left him down in 20th for the finishing position, he had a much better day than that going.
Yeah, but he also did have a tire go down too.
Yeah.
Um, Fox did as good as I expected him to.
Hey, they
Um,
covered that tent really well.
they did cover the tent well. I think that was about the only thing that they had going for them for the whole entire race as far as coverage. Um, and then of course the whole Bubba and Christopher Bell thing. Got no information from Fox on it. Had to get on Twitter and wait about an hour until I could figure some stuff out on it. So that, once again, cannot thank Fox enough for it. And I'm going to be so sad when they switch over to Prime. To answer your second question, do I think SVG is the greatest road course driver in NASCAR of all time? Right? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I think he is the best NASCAR road racer of all time? No. Do I think he's the best in the next gen car? Yes. To me, that question is like comparing Tom Brady to Joe Montana. It does not work that way. Is 7 wins impressive? Is it dominating in this era of this car? Yes. However, I don't know what he would have been like in other cars. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, well, and that's where I look at some of his O'Reilly road course success, and that's where I take into account that, yeah, he probably would have he might not have been as unstoppable in the old car, but he still would have been contending for top fives and wins at every road race.
That's all I have though.
Because like when he's gotten competent level O'Reilly and competent level trucks, he's been right there at the front, just like at the Cup level. And as much as we like to talk about the next gen car, both O'Reilly and trucks are actually still pretty close to the kind of traditional NASCAR formula from like Gordon and Tony Stewart's heyday, at
Yep.
least in terms of how the cars race on the
Yep.
road courses.
Yep. And before we move on, I would like to point out an interesting stat that I saw. SVG's win on Sunday was the first win in the '97 car since Kurt Busch in 2004.
All right. Nice.
Yep.
That's pretty neat.
And remember, Kurt Busch won the championship that year too.
SVG is not winning the championship. JP, get out of
No,
that
no,
Greg
no,
costume.
no, no. I'm just saying, like that's the last time that the number 97 was relevant in the Cup Series. Was
I know.
2004.
I'm just messing with you.
But all right, well we're
That
gonna
is exactly the kind of take JP would draw from that stat line.
yeah. But
Uh,
we're gonna move on to our next segment. We phased out the green flags and black flags. We have a relatively new segment. We've done it a couple times this year. It's called Idiots of the Weekend, and this could be anything motorsports wise that you guys saw over the weekend that was just completely idiotic and deserves a shout out. So we'll start with
oh,
Ryan.
which one do I want to just shout out? Um, hmm. Can you come back to me? I think I can find the clip.
Sure, Eli.
Does it have to be a driver, or like can it be like related to NASCAR if they're doing something at the track?
It can be anything motorsports related.
Okay, I would probably say in like the title is Idiots of the Week, right?
Idiots of the Weekend, yes, or
Weekend.
or,
Okay,
or week.
perfect. Perfect. Well, yeah, I mean, they were pretty good for this weekend. I would say the Fox Sports Media Group and broadcast team. I would say that whole entire circle of people deserve this medal. If I could, like, individually, like, line them up all in a line and give them a medal, I would do it and I would shake their hand.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that was gonna be mine because we had great coverage of the tent flying through the air, but no replay of the Cody Ware crash at all. Um, Man, what else was there this weekend?
The whole Bubba thing.
Honestly, I didn't even really see that. I'll be honest. I didn't watch a single lap of the race. I listened to it on the radio because I was out of the house all day. But I did see like some of the highlights on Twitter and Facebook. And I'm gonna shout one more out. Freddie Kraft and Tommy Baldwin over there at DBC for putting this rumor out about Alex Bowman getting replaced. Don't shoot the messenger. What about you, Ryan? You find yours yet?
Uh, I didn't find the one I was looking for, but I do have a runner-up that I saw.
Okay.
There was a local short track. I don't know exactly where it was, but the pace car pulled off onto their pit road to start the race for their women's division, and the entire field followed the pace car onto pit road instead of taking the green flag.
Oh
The
no.
entire field of for their women's division of racing all pulled onto pit road following the
Um.
pace car.
Oh my gosh. Uh,
Every single car.
I do have one more. There was a dirt track race at I-75 Speedway.
I think that's the one I was trying to find the clip of. The one
Yeah.
where the guy tried driving into the other guy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was the clip I was trying to find.
Yep. Driver's name was Greg Martin, and apparently him and another driver had a disagreement out on the track, and the other driver pulled into the pit area, and his crew was working on the car, and I guess post race, Mr. Martin decided he was going to drive through the infield and just ram that car while those guys were working on it, and subsequently knocked two of the guys probably about 20 feet backwards. One of them had, I believe, it was 7 or 8 bruised ribs, and he had to get 8 staples in his head. And of course, the series or whatever division it was took action. That driver, Mr. Martin, has been banned from that series and Speedway for a minimum of 2 years.
All right. Well, nice to see somebody's actually taking action there. But yeah, that was the clip I was trying to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, figured I could at least shout out the women's division there for their lack of awareness.
Yep. All right. Well, we are going to move into our next segment, which is our preview and race pick segment. We mentioned it earlier. They are racing at Dover this weekend, but it is the All-Star race, and it for some reason it has a noon start time, which is something that we've been.
I saw 1 p.m.
Okay, well maybe
Not 1 a.m.
Maybe
I almost said 1 a.m.
Oh, maybe coverage starts at noon, but
Yeah.
we've been pushing for noon and 1 o'clock starts for what, 3 years now.
Just
but-
not the All-Star race.
Yeah. So this is not your typical all-star race here. I'm going to kind of brief over these formats. The field will be set by the Mechanics Wear Pit Crew Challenge that will take place on Saturday. So there is no qualifying. Yep. And it is going to be a full field. The full field will start segment 1, 75 laps. And then
so everybody starts the All-Star race?
Yes.
There's no open?
No, there is no All-Star open.
Okay, well, one of my coworkers clearly didn't know that. He said he thought he had Zillage picked to win the open.
Yeah. Segment 1 will be 75 laps. Segment 2 will also be 75 laps. It is a full field, but the 1st through 26th positions will be inverted, and the others will fill in behind them based on their finish from segment 1. And then in the final segment, which is 200 laps for a grand total of 350 laps, it will just be a 26-car field, which will be 2025 and 26 Cup Series race winners, past All-Star winners, full-time past champions, a fan vote winner, and the best combined finishers from segments 1 and 2.
At this point, why not just run them all? Because, like you said, what, 26 plus all those other people? I mean, at that point, you're going to have like 30, 33 cars out of the 36.
Yep.
Moving on, and that's assuming that half of them haven't wrecked out in the first 2 stages.
Yep. And I was wrong. There will be qualifying, but it's technically a modified qualifying. It will be a single car lap with a 4-tire pit stop.
Yep. And I still, man, am I the only person that misses that pit stop competition thing they did at Texas, where they did the 4-tire pit stop and then you had to finish out the lap?
I like
in like a bracket tournament type thing.
Oh, I mean, I like the actual pit crew challenge they used to do back in the day, where the cars were like on a little road inside the building, and they just like push the cars out. And then for qualifying, I liked what they did at Charlotte, where the driver would make like 2 or 3 laps and then come down pit road at like full speed and try to get on the brakes into the pit stall, and they do the stop and then they take off and finish out the lap.
Yeah, I do remember seeing Matt Kenseth doing that in the number 6 car.
Yeah. But we are going to move into our race picks. I do have our names on the wheel. And since it is All-Star Weekend, picks or points will be doubled this weekend.
Does our pick still count for like the whatever you call it? Like,
Usage.
yeah.
No.
Um,
So this you can pick anybody, even if you've already picked them twice, because it is an exhibition race.
yeah,
Okay.
we didn't count them at the Clash. We aren't counting them at the All Star race.
Okay.
Correct. And if your pick somehow gets knocked out of the All Star race during segment 3, I will be keeping very close tabs on it. And before the start of segment 3, I will have you make another pick.
Okay.
All right. So, first pick will go to Eli.
Um, we'll go
So we did
Denny.
not want them.
All right. So, you picked Hamlin. All right. Next pick will go to Ryan.
All right. Well, Dover is a really weird track because I mean, it's a yeah, it only has the one race a year these days, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Trying to think about who I want to take. Honestly, let's go ahead and take Chase Elliott.
All right.
Hendrick guys are usually pretty good at this track, and yeah, why not?
All right.
Elliott, I think, is the best of the Hendrick drivers this year.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got 2
Yeah,
wins.
Larson's in whatever funk he's in. Byron needs to get off the computer more, and Bowman needs to figure out what's going on with his health.
Yep. All right. Last pick goes to me, obviously. And speak of the devil, I am taking Alex Bowman.
Yep.
He finished third in the points race last year behind Briscoe and Hamlin. So he may have a shot. All right. Uh, hang on one second.
Actually, when it comes to winners at Dover, by the way, you've got Hendrick Motorsports and Gibbs combined for 22 wins. The next best team has 4 wins.
All right.
That's
All right.
kind of surprising to see that no other team has more than 4 wins at Dover in Dover's entire existence.
Yeah. Right.
Do we have a trivia or no?
I do. I do. That's what I was just getting ready to move into. It is time for another rousing edition of Jamie's Trivia in honor of Jamie, who I believe is celebrating his anniversary today. So happy anniversary, Jamie, if you happen to watch this. So this does not apply to Dover. This applies to the All Star race. And in its entirety, in entire history, who has led the most laps all time in the All Star race? And I
Like counting like okay, so like in one particular race or ever?
no ever like all time over all of the All Star races in their career.
Okay. All right. So not okay. All right, I get what you're saying.
Yep. And I will give you a bonus point if you can guess the number, and I will give you a 10 lap buffer.
Okay.
So Ryan.
Let's see. Hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll take Jimmy Johnson. I know he won a bunch of All-Star races.
Okay.
I'm just worried that maybe they were too short back then, back when the All-Star race was a proper sprint race rather than the longer show that it's been in recent years, like when uh, I'm already second guessing my answer.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna ask a stupid question. Like, when was the first All Star race?
1992, right?
Yes.
One hot night.
Well, I think that was the first time they ever ran it at night. It used to be called the Winston.
Okay.
So I think it maybe dates back to the 80s.
Let's see.
Okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
86 was the first Winston.
And that's like really wide open. Like Bill Elliott, I think would be a good pick. Dale would be a good pick. Jimmy's a good pick. Jeff's. Um, we'll say fuck.
Yeah,
I Kyle Busch. I don't know. I genuinely
I
do not
think you have
know.
the right
What?
first name. I think you have the right first name
Kyle. There's no way. No.
because Larson dominated at least 1 year of the 200 lap All Star race at
Oh, I did not think of
Wilkesboro.
that. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
That's what I thought about right after I made my guess. I'm like,
I don't
wait,
know.
they
The
made the All
86
Star race
is.
ridiculously long for Wilkesboro, and Larson dominated a significant chunk of that race
Yeah, that's a better
for
pick.
a couple of years there.
Yeah.
So that was the thing I immediately thought of after I made the guess of Johnson.
So Eli, what's your guess?
Kyle Busch.
All right, Ryan, you never gave me a total number of laps you think Jimmy Johnson led.
Oh, let's say 157.
All right, Eli.
God. Wait, do we have to get them both right?
No, you don't have to get them both right. It's just
Oh.
if you get the second part, you get a bonus point.
Oh. 250.
All right. Well, Eli, you get the bonus point.
What?
Really?
Or you
Kyle
get
Busch
or,
has led the most laps at the All Star race?
Kyle Busch holds the record for the most laps led in NASCAR All-Star race history. Eli, if you would have guessed 257 or higher, you would have gotten the extra point because he has led 267 laps.
Wow.
Did not know that. I just said
And
Kyle.
I say, because I know
I
Kyle.
genuinely didn't know.
Yeah, because I know Kyle Busch has only won
Yeah, he's only
one
won
All Star
one.
race, so and I don't remember him being overly dominant in any of the All Star races, and certainly none of the longer ones. Because I was like, okay, Bristol I know was 140 laps long. Then you've got the Wilkesboro ones that were 200 laps long, and it's like, okay, those ones could have helped boost up some of the newer drivers' lap count.
Yep. Well, as of 2026, Kyle Larson has the second most laps led in All-Star race history with 244.
Okay.
But
But I was on the right path though when I kind of backtracked and I was like, oh yeah, I should have factored in the fact that the All Stars used to only be like a 20 lap shootout.
yep. And in recent years, Joey Logano set the modern single race record in 2024, leading 199 of 200 laps in the All Star race.
Yep. Yeah. Say.
But
Yeah.
great pull there, Eli. That was good.
That was good.
But that is going to close our show out tonight. As always, thank you guys again for listening. We are glad to be back. And thank you to our sponsor, Circle B Diecast, for sponsoring the show. Please be sure to use promo code LAPDOWN at checkout for $5 off your order. But until next time, I'm Greg, and for Ryan and Eli, we will see you guys right after the All-Star race where we ask the $1 million questions.
There we go.